Alright, we're talking about Matlock again. The reboot, not, it's not a remake or a reboot because, despite it being named Matlock, this version of Matlock is like a straight up remake of the 80s one with Andy Griffith. Kathy Bates' character just goes by the name Madeline Matlock, but it's an alias born from the character's love of the show. So the show exists in this show, and Maddie's character is a creation all on her own. But you saw the title of the video, you're probably wondering if the show's gonna get a season 2. Well, season 1 proved to be a huge hit for CBS, so you're not really the only one wondering if there will be a season 2. So, let's talk about it, let's see what we got, let's see what's going on, because I heard the finale ended on a banger, bro. Keep in mind, there will be spoilers in this video because I will be explaining what happened at the end of the first season of Matlock, but to sum it all up, yes, there will be a season 2. A good thing considering the cliffhanger of the season 1 finale. This comes as a little surprise, as Paramount reports that an average of 17 million viewers watched the series' first season across broadcast and streaming. According to Nielsen and other sources, Matlock was the #1 new broadcast series in multi-platform viewing, and the #2 broadcast series overall. Previously on Dragon Ball Z, Kathy Bates' character Maddie took it upon herself to quietly investigate her fellow attorneys at Jacobson Moore to uncover the snake who conspired with the drug company, Brexa, to keep opioids on the market. I feel like I said it wrong, but now you're probably wondering, why is Maddie doing this if you haven't watched the show, this version of the show particularly. Well, this was a particularly meaningful case for Maddie because her daughter died from an OD. The villain that we learned was an unlikely one, not to me. I always knew that Jason Ritter's character, Julian Markinson, was the bad guy. I saw it in his eyes, man. He couldn't play a good guy forever, bro. Anyways, this led to a tearful confrontation between Julian and Olympia, his soon-to-be ex-wife, in which the lawyer revealed he was only trying to please his father, who is managing partner Howard Sr. It also left audiences with a handful of cliffhangers that set the stage for a second season. Which, what will the second season exactly be about? Now, season 1, like I said, ended with, with the swag of a show that's been renewed for a half dozen more seasons, leaving viewers with several evolving storylines and tantalizing questions. The first question, of course, is the question of how Maddie and Olympia will reckon with Julian's betrayal, and the complicity of Howard, who, in addition to being Olympia's senior, is also her ex-father-in-law. There's a lot of problems with that. And another curious twist involves Maddie's grandson, tech whiz Alfie, played by Aaron Harris, who she's been caring for since the death of her daughter. In the finale, a knock at the door introduces us to a stranger played by Nico Nicotera, who claims to be Alfie's father. This won't be a walk-on role. Speaking about the season 1 finale with EW, Ehrman said she's really excited to get into their story and what he brings to the show and how he complicates Maddie's most sacred place, which is her home. And then there's Billy, a young lawyer played by David Del Rio. His romantic entanglements were a focus of season 1, and that's likely to continue in the next season. His ex is Claudia, played by Bella Ortiz, and she is preggers, which will surely throw a wrench into his newfound relationship with his junior partner, Simone, played by Andrea Londo, especially if the baby turns out to be his baby. Ooh. Ehrman told EW, Entertainment Weekly, by the way, that the revelation was a fruitful means of destabilizing Billy, who after breaking up with Claudia, was finally looking to the future. She added that it raises a whole host of juicy questions for the writers to answer. Is she having the baby? Is she not having the baby? And he's the ultimate people pleaser, so what is he gonna do and what does he want? All those questions. But just in terms of putting your character in a brand new headspace at the top of the next season, that's as big as it gets. And it feels like an exciting, fun area that has a lot of, comedy and drama, which David Del Rio plays so well, so, good stuff. Ehrman also teases the interesting places she sees Billy and Julian veering into the next season. If that sounds like an unlikely couping, that's the point. And, that's how it is. We'll end this video off with the question of, will there be a release date for season 2? Not yet, but like, don't expect to wait like 3 years for a new season. Deadline reports that the plan is for Matlock to return for the network's 2025-2026 broadcast season. So it might come back maybe in like the fall or summer or like maybe next year, but like it's not gonna be like 1,000 years until it comes back. But yeah, that's all I really gotta say about it. If you want to watch this version of Matlock, it is on Paramount Plus. Um, as well as the OG Matlock. All 9 seasons of the OG Matlock. Now, let me just say that Kathy Bates is confirmed to be coming back for the show. She said she'd do like for 4 more years. I think we could probably crank out a couple more seasons before we end this version of Matlock. Let's not make it like the other Matlock. That sure ran for 9 seasons, alright? People got shit to do, you know? Not to say that the other actors want to quit, you know? Because Jason Ritter, like I said, is still staying in Matlock and stuff like that. But, yeah, thanks for watching the video, you know, all the Matlock people. And, I'm gonna see you all in the next... Let me think this through. I would say the next 2 videos. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4 and Heartstopper. And then after that, I'll be talking about other stuff. So, yeah. That's about it. I'm gonna, watch some more Kitty Monk. I really appreciate Kitty Monk. She's the best, bro.